Hello. The story we're going to read today is The Squirrel Who Squabbled by Rachel Bright, and this is all about two squirrels who are preparing for hibernation over the winter, and as they get closer to their hibernation they start to panic about the food that is available, but what they learn by the end of the story is how to share, and it's better to share with people. In the towering forest where the summer had been, the cool air bit fresh and the mosses grew green, and as the autumn edged in and the sky raged red, the sleepiest creatures got ready for bed. While up in the tree swung a flighty young squirrel, who everyone knew as spontaneous Cyril. Now most foresty folk had seen to their needs through the plentiful months of mushrooms and seeds. They'd built up their stores so they were all well fed through the frosting of winter that glistened ahead. But Cyril, he lived in the now and the here. He'd adventure and party his way through the year. So his cupboards were empty and his hollows were bare. He hadn't a mouthful of food anywhere. But wait, what was that? Over there, take a look. A single lone pine cone wedged into the nook. He squealed with delight for a very good reason, because this was the very last pine cone of the season. But Cyril wasn't alone. There were more hungry eyes. Yes, plan ahead Bruce had his eyes on the prize. Though he'd gathered a mountain of bounty, Bruce was convinced he was one pine cone short. I simply must have it, he wistfully cried, as he dreamt of the fresh, juicy pine nut inside. So as Cyril set off on his way to the ground, Bruce was also last pine cone bound. He sprinted and scurried with no time to gamble. He scratched at the bark in their scrimper and scramble. But their panic and haste shook the tip of the spruce, and the pine cone trembled, and then it came loose. Both squirrels gave chase at a lightning pace. This was the start of the very nutty race. "It's mine," shouted Cyril. "No, mine," hollered Bruce. "You don't stand a chance. Give up, it's no use." "I'm hungry," cried Cyril. "This corn is not yours." "Stay back," shouted Bruce. "This corn is mine for my stores." It boinged over bushes and through the air, binged off noses of slumbering bears. It bounced over boulders, and then it came to a stop. Then teetered and wobbled and quivered and plop. Both squirrels followed, or the water was fast. Would they learn that they needed to hate each other at last? But each was intent on how they could win, so they didn't quite notice a bird sweeping in. Cyril and Bruce watched with their dismay as their corn disappeared up and away. "Come back," shouted Cyril. "They're our nuts," exclaimed Bruce. But all hope was gone. It was simply no use. And meanwhile they drifted right up to the ledge. Greed was driving them over the edge. Cyril and Bruce had taken a fall. They were paying the price for wanting it all. They'd squander their chances to team up and to share. Would this nutty young hopes simply end in despair? Bruised and battered they swept past dry land. Cyril grabbed a branch with his trembling hands. Catching Bruce with the other, he heaved and he huffed, and dragged him to safety with a pantering puff. They stared at the sky, quite lost in deep thought, until Bruce looked at Cyril and let out a snort. "How silly we are," he proclaimed, all jiggling. "How greedy I've been," spluttered Bruce with a giggle. "We shall change from today, may the squabbling cease. We should all celebrate and seeing as though we are one piece." From that day and forward they made a great pair. They would gather together and found what they could share. Yes, Cyril and Bruce, they knew in the end the best thing to share is a laugh with your friend.